Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now today I'm going to have a look at an arrow Sudoku. This has been sent to us by Jason Lustig, but he found it on GM Puzzles where it was compiled by Thomas Snyder. Now these are two good things. Jason Lustig is one of our patrons on Patreon, and we're very grateful to anyone who can afford this small amount a month that enables you to become a patron. Those guys get an extra puzzle every month and a video of it just privately for them, and they're very welcome to it. But it is also indubitably true that if you're a patron, we are slightly more likely to be making videos about puzzles you send in or requests. So here we are, and the other good thing is that any puzzle by Thomas Snyder any puzzle published by Thomas Snyder is likely to be very good. This one is from his GM Puzzles site, so I'm certainly expecting good things. And just to look at it, I think this is an arrow Sudoku, which means that the where the circles are, with arrows coming out of them, the number in the circle is the sum of the numbers on the arrow. So here, for instance, 3 is going to be made up of 2 and 1, since they're in the same column. And the theme of this arrow Sudoku, if you like, is parquet, because it's a bit of parquet flooring, the way that there's horizontal tile up there and vertical ones there and there. So very nice to look at, and let's see how it plays. Do have a go at the puzzle first if you like that. It's under the video with a link into having been made up in our software like this. And I'm just going to crack on now. So, as I said, that 3 arrow has got to be made up of 1 and 2, and the 4 has got to be made up of 1 and 3. Those are the only absolute givens straight away. But that is quite interesting straight away, because it means that one of those has to be a 1, one of those has to be a 1. Now, I said that they're the only ones that are absolutely given straight away. That's really not true, in a way, because 6 here, which can be made up of 5, 1 or 4, 2, has a 4 in its row already. So clearly that's 5, 1. Now, what else can we immediately deduce? The same is true for the 6 down here, except that it's got a 5 in its row. So that's 2 and 4, and we can actually work out which way round they are from the 4 up here. 1, 3, 2. Okay, so the 5 could be either 2, 3 or 1, 4. Can't see a way of figuring that one out immediately. Now, yes, those two these cells have to contain 2 1s, clearly, and that rules out all the 1s from these rows. So this 7 can't be made up of 1 and 6. It also can't be made up of 4 and 3 because of the 4 we've just put in, so it's clearly 2 and 5. Now, again, we've got a 1 in here somewhere in this row. We've also now got a 2 in here, because we've got 2 pairs that involve 2s. So 2 has to be in both rows there. So this 7 here can't involve 1 or 2, and therefore it must be made up, of 3, 4. Now that ensures we know which way round to put the 1, 3. That in turn ensures we know which way round to put the 1, 2, and that allows us to sort out the 5, 2. So we've made some significant progress here. Now 8, we've clearly got 1, 3, 2, 4 in the column already. Could be 5, 6 or 7 therefore, and that would go with 1, 2 or 3. Now it can't be 3, it can't be 2, I mean, there's a 2 in the column already, so we can reduce that to 2 possibilities. 9, similarly, I think you'll work out that in the end it can only be 6 or 8 there, with 3 or 1 there. And that's suddenly given us a 1, 3 pair here. So that's quite useful potentially. Now how about this 9? Ah yes, we have 1, 2 and 3 in its row already, so it must be 4 and 5. Now what else does that tell us? 64. Now we might start having to go into the boxes and seeing what's left now, but well, up here, we've obviously got a 5 pair and a 4 pair. So 4s and 5s aren't possible. This 8 could therefore be 6-2 or 1-7, I suppose. Can't see a way to decide which one it might or might not be. The 9 can't be 4 and 5 because that would make this cell impossible. But there's quite a lot of other possibilities. So what should I be looking for at this point? 6. Well, maybe we could do, I mean, this is Thomas Snyder's puzzle, so maybe we should try and do a bit of Snyder notation, work out where in the boxes certain numbers can go. So there has to be a 7 up there somewhere. 3, there has to be a 3 down here. 2 and 2. 2 is in one of those 2 cells. Not sure if this is necessarily going to be the right way to go forward, unfortunately. 7, 5, 2, 1, 3, 4 are all determined. This one must be 6 or 8. That doesn't help me. Now, what can I figure out? Maybe it's time to kind of figure out if this was a 1, 7, then that would be 5, 4, 3. We'd have 2, 6, and 9 to place. No, not obvious to me how that's going to help anything yet. I am probably missing something fairly clear here, but this is kind of the point at which the puzzle has become something to wrestle with, really, rather than having any relatively straightforward givens in it anymore. Let's just have a look and a think. Ah, yes, I've missed the very obvious inference from this 6, that this can't be 6 or 8. That was quite a poor piece of analysis earlier. So that's resolved the 8-1 and therefore the 3-5 straight away. We can take out one of the possibilities at least there. Now, what else can we do? 9, 8, 1. This 9, it can't be 4, 5. We know that. Now, this could either be 1, 5, 4, in which case it could still be 3, 6 or 2, 7, or this could be 5, 4, 3. The 9 can't be 8, 1 as well, because neither of those digits can go here because of this 8, 1. So this is either 2, 7 or 3, 6. We can rule out one of those, 3, 6, because of that 3. What else is there? Yes, look, that 2 is stopping that being a 2 as well. So this has really reduced the possibilities considerably. But it hasn't completely eliminated everything. Oh, look, yes. It's suddenly very hard to spot things in the same box. Look at this box. It's got a 5 there, so that has resolved that 1. That really was a lot more straightforward than I was making it look. So apologies if you were just waiting for me to catch up with you there. That's quite possible, and I'm pleased to have got that done. But that 1, 4, 5 hasn't sorted out the 9 possibilities, and the 5, 3, 4 hasn't sorted out the 8 possibilities. That's quite surprising. So maybe we'd better look for something else now in the boxes, because that seems to be where I'm missing things the most. Now this 5 could be either 1 there and 3 there. That's ruling out 2 of the 4 possibilities. So we're left with 4, 1 or 3, 2. I think they're both still possible. Yeah, and they're not eliminated by anything particular that I can see straight away. So we were doing a bit of Snyder notation. We can put in a 9 in one of those 2 cells. How can we make further progress here? 4 must be in one of those 2 cells because of this 4 and this 4, together with that one. That'll either be a 3 or a 7. 3 would be very helpful. I would put a 3 up here. It would make this 2, 7. That's quite interesting. If this was a 3, that, because that becomes a 2, 7 is there. If this is a 7, 7 is, because of that 7, there or there. So one of those two is a 7. And 7 must be in that group of cells. Don't know if that helps us. 1 and 4 have exactly the same constraints in the central block. So we get a little pair there. And that means we can place 9. Now that those two cells can't be 9, obviously these ones can't. And because of this 9 and this 9, that rules out 3 more. So 9 has to be here. That gives us a 9 here, and that resolves where the 2 is. Ooh, we do want one of those to be 2. 4 must be here now. This is a 6, 7 pair, and they're slightly disjoint there, which might be helpful. 3, 4, 2, 1. So this 9 in this box now has to go up here. One of those two cells. And that's interesting on this box. It now belongs in one of those two, and in this box where it becomes in one of those two. Now if we use that with this 9, then 9 down here, we can see it can't be here, so it must be here. So, oops. Sorry, just struggling with the, and it's not there. So, 9, 8, 5, 3, 4 in this column, 6, 7, so that's 2 or 1. 9, 8, 6, 2, 2s are good. That can't be, oh, sorry, I've put actual 9s in there, they're just small 9s. Yes, this cell, 3, 4, 7, 1, 5, 6 in its row, 2, 9 in its column, that must be an 8. And that makes this one a 6, same sort of reasoning. Now it sorts out our 7, 6 pair in that box. And we have 5, 7, 9 in a group up there. In fact, this one must be 5 now. So we have a 7, 9 pair that's resolved by the 9 that was given. Excellent. So now we can finish off 2 of those columns. 9, 6, 5, 8, 2, 7. It's lovely how this is coming together. I mean, I don't know if I can explain to you how sort of beautifully one deduction feeds onto the other. And just when you think you're only working in one part of the grid, it suddenly feeds into another. Now remember this 1, 4 pair. Now we've now got 2, 9, 3, 5. We know 7's down here. 8 must be one of those two cells. And 6 is either there or there. So we've got a set of pairs in this cell, in this box now. Now, what else am I not quite picking up? Still, we haven't figured out these pairs here. And maybe I'm missing some way that we should have figured that out. Not sure. 8, 3, 4. Keep looking up the top where we've got so many rows nearly complete. 5 and 3. 2, 4, 6, 9 in this row. Oh, in fact, that 4 has resolved our 1, 4 pair. But I'm also noticing 5 and 3. We've got 5, 3 there, 3 and 5 there. We need 5 and 3 in these 3 cells. 5 can only be here, and that puts 3 here. So this is 7, that's 8, and that's resolved the rest of this central box. That finishes off our 9 sum down here. We can take out 2, 6 as a possibility. And now we've got a 1, 2 pair, so we can fill in 6 here, 8 here. That 8 pushes 8 up at the top to there. We get 8 there. That finishes off that 9. We can now do those rows that were so full before. 6, 2, 3 is all resolved there, and I think we're now finishing. What a lovely puzzle this has been. I mean, it's so neat. I mean, the fact that you get this nice presentation to begin with is pleasant, but the way the whole thing unfolds is just so beautifully tidy. It's really impressive. I mean, I do, you know, I love that sort of puzzle. So we've got a 1, 4 pair up there. That finally resolves the last 2 arrows. What a nice finish we're going to get. That one. Oh, hang on. What have I done wrong here? Something has gone wrong now. What have I done? 8 is not made up of 7 and 2. 1, 5, yes, that's 6. Sorry about that. God, it's so annoying when you suddenly don't know what you're doing and you get something wrong like that. But at least that was fixable. And 1, 2 there. 3 in that box. That's a beautiful puzzle. I hope you had a go at that first and enjoyed it in much the same way I did. Really nice. Thanks very much to Jason for suggesting it. As he mentioned, it's a really neat one. And I hope you've enjoyed that on Cracking the Cryptic. Thanks very much for watching, and bye for now. See you next time.